Number 1, we got the Lady in Red Phantom. On New Year's Eve of 1920, the Drake Hotel celebrated its opening night with much glamour and tinsel. It was both magnificent and tragic. It was magnificent because the Drake was to be one of Chicago's most beautiful and celebrated hotels. It was tragic because, according to legend, it was the night the woman in red ended her life. On this day, a man and his fiancée attended the gala held in the Drake's Gold Coast room. The man stepped away and did not return, so his fiancée went looking for him. She found him enthralled by another woman in the Palm Court parlor. Ooh. The devastated woman climbed to the roof and jumped to her death. Since then, guests at the Drake have reported seeing her apparition in the Gold Coast room, Palm Court, and on the top 10th floor as well as the roof. Condemned to replay her final night, her restless soul wanders attempting to find peace with the final tragic chapter of her life. In addition to spontaneous phantom appearances in her red garment, workers and guests also get a creepy and uncomfortable feeling in the ballroom. Damn. You know, I've actually heard about that before, the Drake Hotel in Chicago. Like, I've heard about the woman in red, and yeah, like, I've read multiple accounts of people seeing her in like all the rooms that they mentioned. That one dude, like her fiancé, man, like, this is supposed to be like a special night for you guys, and you're off like getting enthralled by another woman. Dude, like, figure it out. Like, this is not the time for that, and you literally like caused your, you know, future wife to commit, which, I mean, you know, is not a good thing at all. But now we are forever haunted at the Drake Hotel. Comment down below if you guys ever been to the Drake Hotel before. I got a Drake Hotel right across the street from where I live. I'm hoping that it is not also haunted, so comment down below. Number 2, the Phantom Texter. A fella started receiving text messages from an unknown number on New Year's Eve that said, "I'm outside." The messages began to escalate, and at one point the mystery texter claimed to be inside the house watching him and his friends. Creepy. The text continued throughout the night, with the texter describing the guy's car and sending creepy texts while they were driving home that indicated the texter was watching him. When others tried to call the number that he was receiving the texts from, they got a message saying it was not a working phone number. While the messages eventually stopped, the fear never really went away. He later said, "I haven't dived too deep into this. On one hand, I felt that something really bad could happen if I kept probing it. Nothing has happened so far, but on the other hand, I don't have any closure, and sometimes I get paranoid about getting another message." Yeah, dude, like, I would definitely be feeling that paranoia. If I was just getting random text messages and they were describing not only like the inside of my home, but my car, and like it felt as if they were following me, like, number 1, I'm calling every single one of my friends who potentially knows this information and being like, alright, like, is it you? Are you doing this to me? Because if it is, like, stop, man. Like, you are hurting my heart. And if it was none of those people, I don't even know what I'd do. Like, I might have to, like, first off, like, I'm getting a new phone number and might be moving to a new city. So, yeah. Number 3, the Phantoms of the Inn. The Inn on Main Street Bed and Breakfast, located in Weaverville, North Carolina, is indeed very spirited on New Year's Eve. Although the innkeepers of this historic bed and breakfast will not admit it's haunted, there's no denying the tales told by guests or staff, verifying the house's spectral activity. Strangely, on New Year's Eve, guests frequently hear pictures fall off the wall multiple times, never finding physical evidence of them actually falling. Weird. In addition, many also hear the back door open and then close. Yet again, no mortal is ever discovered entering the building. The house was built 100 years ago by a doctor. The innkeepers know of at least one person has died. The innkeepers know of at least one person who has died in the home. A bloodstain remains under the tiles in a bathroom that was once part of his operating room and lab. The stain was never able to be removed, even with sanding, resorting to it being hidden with tile. Weird. Could never get rid of the stain, eh? You just had to patch it up. That's like, it's like when you spill something on your parents' couch, and you know, like, I cannot get this out, so it's just like a simple flip on the cushion, and you know, it's gone now forever. You just better hope that they never find it. I think it's very different though when we're talking about a blood stain though that will not go away, and the whole like pictures falling. It's weird though, like they say the pictures fall, but then they don't actually fall, they just hear them falling. So that's really interesting. Maybe the person who died resulted in like some pictures falling and like they're replaying that. I'm not sure. Number 4, Man in the Yellow Raincoat. A holiday ghost hunt on December 31st was planned to seek the legends that haunt this historical venue. The entity they sought most was the ominous man in the yellow raincoat. During the investigation, one of the ghost hunters felt a splash of cold water on the back of her legs. Upon reaching down to find the source, she found that her tights were dry and there was no one behind her who could have spilled the liquid. Still, a strange wet sensation remained. Tingling continued where she felt the water minutes after the encounter. This, in fact, is a common experience, all attributed to the man in the yellow raincoat. The iconic apparition is not shy. He's been seen on the stage, on the catwalk, and in several of the viewing balconies. Apparently, he is interactive with spectators, often casting a disciplinary look when the audience is naughty. Other experiences that many have encountered include doors opening on their own and the appearance of what looks like bloodstains in the basement. Weird. Bloodstains in the basement. We're going back to those bloodstains again, guys. I'm also I'm interested about the whole thing about, like, he gives them a look, you know, like it's a look of disappointment, honestly. Like, I wonder what that looks like. Like, I'd be pretty nervous if some dude that was like in a yellow raincoat who is dead was just giving me a disappointing look. That's really creepy. Number 5, the lady in white. Oh, there's always a lady in white, guys. This is a common horror theme. An unexpected guest materialized out of nowhere and joined the storyteller's New Year's Eve party. All of the doors and windows were locked, and no one admitted to letting the old woman who was dressed in all white inside the house. Interesting. Being in the festive mood, the hostess did not ask her to leave. Apparently, the lady in white reported she was lost and couldn't find the party she was actually heading to. Upon leaving the party, though, she dropped 2 scarves on the doorstep. To this day, nobody knows how she got in. Many say this is a symbol of a prediction that may not be good. To add to this mystery, the writer adds that her cousin saw this same woman in his dreams a few nights later. No one ever saw her again. Well, I'd be interesting to know, did anything bad happen to those people? Because they say that it's a symbol or a prediction of something that's not very good. Those people who let her in, who like housed her for a little while, who fed her, did anything bad happen? Or potentially, if you kick her out, is that when something bad happens, right? You housed her, you brought her in, you were kind, so nothing bad happened, but if you kicked her out, maybe that's when something tragic happens. Theory. Number 6, the bellboy for the hotel of the, in brackets, dead stars. Interesting. Besides accommodating the common traveler, the Monte Vista Hotel in Flagstaff hosts a number of otherworldly immortal guests and staff members. The legendary hotel opened on New Year's Day of 1927. One of the ghosts here is that of a phantom bellboy who knocks on doors and then vanishes. This annoying phantom has been experienced by dozens of guests over the years. He's often joined by the ghost of a woman who has been seen outside of the Zane Grey suite. It turns out that 2 women had been murdered in that room. Another phantom that hangs out at the Monte Vista Hotel is that of a man who endlessly paces in the Gary Cooper room. He is often reported coughing and clearing his throat. Many guests have reported feeling unnerved by the distinct feeling that someone is watching them in the room. There's a spectral entity that was a former bank robber is said to haunt the saloon. Holy moly. Ellen Roberts, a hotel desk clerk, reported in 1970 3 men robbed a nearby bank and to celebrate stopped in our lounge for a drink, even though one of the men had been shot during their escape. While having his drink, the wounded man died, and some believed he is the spirit that's haunting this area of the building. You know what, guys? I'm all for a drink, and you know what, like, I'm ready to stop in after a hard day's work, or I guess a hard day's bank robbing, but if I've been shot, I don't think a whiskey is gonna do the solution right now, man. Like, I would imagine we have to get to a hospital or whatever form of hospital these bank robbers would be doing. So I'm not surprised that this guy is haunting this. What I am surprised about is how many ghosts are at this one hotel. Like, I think we counted at least like 4 different ghosts right there, and I'd imagine there's probably even more. And they're all in their own separate rooms, like haunting specific things. So clearly there's something about that piece of land that is like supernatural, I'd imagine. Number 7, channeling Norman Bates. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. A Florida man who told police he was angry with his mother used an axe to her on New Year's Eve 2014. The creepiest part is the mugshot taken after the man was arrested. In the photo, he's smiling like one would for childhood school pictures. The man was apparently fed up with his mother nagging him about moving some boxes into the attic. Sheriff Bob Gualtieri told the CNN reporter, "Listen, buddy, I get it. You know, moms, especially around Christmas time, like they'll get on you for stuff, right? But dude, we're not taking an axe and going to town on our mother. That is a big, like resounding no. So, and like after the fact, like you're smiling, clearly something is extremely wrong with this guy's brain right now. If he's smiling after he axed his mother down, that is messed up. Number 8, the spectral party crasher. One woman had an unwelcome guest on New Year's Eve. She could hear it, but not see it. The trouble began when things began disappearing. The woman and her boyfriend kept losing items they were using only to have them reappear a few minutes later. Later in that evening, a strange man's voice joined the conversation, yelling, "Right," in response to a comment one of the guests made. Eventually, every guest heard an invisible person coughing in the bathroom, even though there was nobody there. The strange activity stopped the next day, so perhaps this ghost just really likes to join in the New Year's Eve festivities. You know what? If I was a ghost, if I had to live in like purgatory for eternity, then at least if I could get New Year's Eve to come out, to come party, to just play around, to mess with some people, that would be something I could look forward to every single year. So honestly, respect to that ghost for coming out, joining the New Year's Eve parties. I would do the exact same thing. Number 9, we bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master bedroom, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person, the missing date matching the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one text say, "Yup, it's human." Human? What's human? "Ma'am, where's the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper. This isn't wallpaper you were removing." Wow. So obviously they're insinuating right there that that wasn't wallpaper at all. That was skin. Oh my gosh, that is so gross. That is so disgusting. That is, to have your walls lined with somebody's sunburnt skin. That is, how did you not how did that not smell? Actually, like, how did you not realize that this is not wallpaper, this is literal skin? That is disgusting. That is so absolutely gross. Did that happen on New Year's Eve? If it did, like, that is not the way to bring in the new year, guys. Like, I am like packing it in. I'm being like, all right, 2022, it's a no-go. I'm just sleeping until 2023, if that's how it opens up. Number 10. On New Year's Eve in 2015, a vast crowd had gathered to go to the riverfront promenade in Shanghai, China. While one group was attempting to reach the boardwalk, many more were trying to leave on a staircase, and a stampede ensued. 36 people ended up dying in the incident, while 49 others were injured. Investigators blamed government agencies for the accident, citing an ill-prepared event for such a large group of people. The group of over 310,000 people was there to witness a light show which had been cancelled earlier that day. That sucks. That really is, like, that is too bad. Like, all this, like, mass, like, hysteria, like, chaos stuff, like, I get it, we're excited, we want to celebrate the new year, but I mean, stampeding, guys, not the way to do it, and obviously, like, a bunch of people died, couldn't even make it to the new year, and that really sucks. Anyways, folks, those are all the things we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Okay. It was tragic, according to legend. It was tragic because, according to legend, it was the night the, like, what is that? Ace one?
The woman in red. Those fucking fonts come up. I think it's just the woman in red.
The woman in red, eh? Okay. Jesus.